Hey kids, welcome to your ultimate 7-day kickstart. I'm Halen.
I'm Jim.
I'm Joanna.
And I'm Pat.
And together,
we're core principals.
All right, so this is your ultimate 7-day kickstart. We're going to give you everything you need over the next 7 days to get yourself kickstarted. So maybe you haven't worked out in a long time. Maybe you have never worked out. This is for you. At the end of the 7 days, we're going to help you lose a little bit of weight, but also, and perhaps more importantly, get you into a bit of routine, get you feeling motivated, getting you feeling some sense of success, so you're ready to push on and get even more results. All right, here we go. We're going to start with a quick little warm-up to get your body warmed up, get those muscles ready for a little bit of action. We've got 3 lovely people here. Joanna is going to show us a modification. Pat and Jim are going to do the exact same thing and just have different angles so you can see exactly what's going on. Here we go with number 1. We're going to start with what we call pogo hops. And in 3, 2, 1, we're going to pogo hop for 30 seconds. We're staying nice and light on our feet. You see Pat and Jim coming off the ground just a little bit. Joanna's modification is she's just coming up on her toes. So if you don't feel like jumping, you don't have to. You don't have to come super high off the ground. That's not the intent here. We just want to warm up the body a little bit. You'll start to feel warm, start to breathe a little bit, and we're going to finish right about now. We're going to have 10 seconds, and we're going to transition to what we call a Spider-Man with a reach. Lovely. So we've got our hands right over our shoulders, or under our shoulders. We're going to try and step our foot right up next to our hand and rotate open to touch the sky. You see Joanna's modification is she's got one knee down, so she's not in a push-up position. She's in an all-fours position, stepping and rotating to the sky. Lovely, looking good. All right, welcome to day 3. This is what we're gonna do. We've got the same 4 exercises plus 2 new additional exercises, and we're gonna work through it for 5 to 7 rounds to make sure you're feeling spicy and nice by the time you're done. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're moving on to our strength building activities. We're gonna get rolling in a few seconds here. Joanna's gonna offer us some modifications, a little bit simpler version of what Pat and Jim are gonna do. We're gonna get started with body weight squats here. And we're gonna get rolling in 10, 3, 2, 1. We got 45 seconds worth of squats. You see their feet are about shoulder width apart, roughly. Your toes can be turned straight ahead. They can be turned out just a little bit. We wanna try and get ourselves to about 90 degrees. So your tush ends up even with your knees. Joanna's making sure she gets to that exact depth by having a box set up. If you're at home, that could be a coffee table, that could be a chair, it can be anything you find that's gonna be roughly knee height, and you're gonna squat to it. You're gonna stand back up nice and tall, thinking about getting the top of your head to the ceiling. Give your tush a little squeeze at the top, and you're done. All right, we're transitioning to our push-up position plank. Lovely. We've got shoulders over wrists. We've got a nice flat back. We've got a nice long line from the top of your head through your heels. And we're gonna hold that position for the entire time, squeezing nice and hard. Let's think about creating tension. If you start shaking a little bit, you're in a good spot. You shouldn't be relaxed here. Joanna's regression, she's just elevated her hands onto a bench or a block here. And you can use the couch again, you can use the kitchen table, you can use the wall at home. We want to be able to hold a good, solid position for the entire time. It's not just about being there, it's about being there with control. All right, and we're transitioning. We're going to move on to our hip lift here. So we're down flat on our backs. We've got our knees over our heels. Our feet are about hip width apart again. If your feet are a little bit forward of your knees, that's cool too. Our objective here is to drive our heels hard into the ground to get our hips up to the sky. We're working on our booties here. So if you move your hands and put them onto your butts, you can feel those booties working. And I encourage you to do this. It gives some great feedback. When you know which muscles are actually working, it just feels right, it feels better. So we're driving those heels into the ground to get our hips up to the sky. And when you finish, your knees should be in a nice straight line with your shoulders. Our hands are reaching to the sky, and we're breathing and smiling. All right, our last transition here. Here it comes. We got Joanna doing a march, and the lads doing a skip. Here we go. And you're going to bring yourself right onto the playground, just like when you were a kid. Joanna's marching for us. Guys are skipping. Doesn't have to be a big pop off the ground. Keep it small. You may find yourself getting fatigued over this 45 seconds. If you do, turn your skip into a march. If you feel like you want to combo back and forth between a skip to a march, then back into a skip, and then into a march, that's wonderful, awesome. Do what's right for you. And there you have it. Nice work. And we're transitioning into a lateral squat. We got our feet a little bit wider than shoulder width. The wider you are, the easier it is. Nice. Joanna's modified version, she's reaching towards her big toe. The guys over here are reaching out long in front of them as a counterbalance. We're lateral squatting, but the real action of your hips is backwards. So it looks like they're going to the side, but they're really shooting that booty backwards, trying again to get their butt even with their knee. That's roughly a 90-degree angle. Doesn't have to be exact. We don't need a protractor, but we're going to get pretty darn close. And we're alternating side to side, pushing your heel hard through the ground just to stand back up, nice and tall, and you got it. We're transitioning into our last exercise. It's a trunk lift. It's another of our awesome core exercises to work on your sides. So we got our knees in contact with the ground. We've got our elbows in contact with the ground. We're pushing that elbow hard into the ground. You want to think that ground under your torso is on fire. You're pushing yourself away from it. And you should feel that whole bottom side closest to the ground start to light up. All right, we're halfway through. We'll transition and go to the other side. So we're balanced. And here we go. You see Jim pushing his elbow hard through the ground. Nice straight line between his elbow and his shoulders. Knee pushing hard into the ground. And lots of tension on the bottom side of his torso. You did it! All right, I hope you enjoyed that workout. We sure did. If you got any questions, you need a point of clarification, contact us. We are here to help. We'll see you next time, and there's one thing you should know. We got your back.